shitting me?
Welcome back to Are You Shitting Me? The show where strange genetics make for colorful history. Literally colorful this time. Okay, picture this. It's the 1960s. You're driving through the Appalachian Mountains of eastern Kentucky. Winding roads, misty hills, country radio on the dial. You get it. You pull into a tiny town to fill up on gas, and out of the corner of your eye, you see a family walking down the street. Their skin, blue. Not ate too many blueberries, blue. Not held your breath for too long, blue. No. Blue, blue. Blue enough to make you stop mid-pump and question if you accidentally drink the moonshine instead of putting it into your gas tank. I guess, is that what you do with moonshine? You'd probably think you were hallucinating, kind of like the time my mom thought a raccoon on the porch was the cat, until it stood up. True story. But this isn't folklore. This isn't an urban legend your weird uncle tells at family reunions. This is real. Documented, science-backed. I'm talking about the Blue people of Kentucky. The story starts back in 1820 with a French orphan named Martin Fugate. Martin was in blue when he got here, but he did settle into a little pocket of eastern Kentucky with the wonderfully ominous name Troublesome Creek. I mean, come on, Troublesome Creek? If I moved to a place called that, I'd at least expect the occasional haunted well or goat with glowing eyes. Martin married a local woman named Elizabeth Smith. Elizabeth was pale, like vampire pale. But nobody thought much of it. They just figured she was delicate. Probably stayed indoors knitting by candlelight or whatever people did before social media. Here's where genetics plays its little joke. Martin carried a recessive gene for a super rare blood disorder called Methemoglobinemia. That's not easy to pronounce. Elizabeth, by total coincidence, also carried the same gene. When two people with that gene have kids, some of those kids are born blue. Let's break this down without sounding like a biology textbook. Your red blood cells carry oxygen thanks to hemoglobin. But in people with methemoglobinemia, some of the hemoglobin turns into something called methemoglobin. It can't carry oxygen properly. Instead of oxygen-rich red blood under the skin, you've got bluish brown blood. And when that blood runs close to the surface, lips, fingernails, ears, your skin takes on a blue tint. Basically, they have the same blood color as a horseshoe crab. Which, let's be honest, is probably the weirdest thing you'll learn today, unless you're really into marine biology. And here's the kicker. They felt totally fine, healthy, working class mountain folks, raising families. They just happened to be blue. Martin and Elizabeth had 7 kids. 4 were blue. The family lived in such an isolated area that the gene stayed in circulation. People married within the same small community, sometimes not even realizing that they were related several generations back. This is what geneticists called the founder effect. By the 1880s, entire branches of the Fugate family tree were blue. Not all of them, but enough that people started calling them the Blue Fugates, or the Blue people of Troublesome Creek. And the Fugates didn't think of themselves as weird. For them, it was normal. Some kids in the family were blue, some weren't. The same way that some families have redheads or left-handers. But can you imagine the family reunions? Oh, hey, great to see you again. Oh, you brought potato salad. Cool, cool. Set it next to your cousin Leroy. He's the one with the blue lips. Outside of Troublesome Creek, the Fugates caused chaos. One woman reportedly went to a hospital in Lexington, and the staff was so shocked by the color of her skin that they froze. They literally didn't know what they were looking at. Others faced stares, rumors, even accusations of witchcraft Remember, it was rural Kentucky in a time when medical knowledge didn't reach mountain hollers. People came up with their own theories. Maybe it was the water, maybe it was the air, or maybe it was just God's will. There's a story about a woman named Luna. Her lips were so dark, they looked bruised. She'd go shopping at dusk just to avoid the attention. Meanwhile, some of her relatives joked about being blue bloods, which is kind of funny because it's usually a term for fancy aristocrats, and the Fugates were anything but. Fast forward to the 1960s, Dr. Madison Cawein III, hematologist from the University of Kentucky, hears rumors about blue people living in the mountains. Instead of shrugging it off, he basically goes on a medical treasure hunt. He figures it out, diagnoses them properly, and the treatment, stupidly simple. A daily dose of methylene blue, a common chemical compound, turns their blood back to normal. Their skin literally goes from blue to pink. Imagine being blue your entire life, thinking, that's just who we are. And a doctor shows up with a pill that makes you look normal in an afternoon. That's got to be the weirdest Tuesday ever. By the time Dr. Cawein got there weren't many Blue Fugates left. The family had started marrying outside of the community, diluting the gene. It's reported that the last known Fugate, Benjamin, was born in 1975. He was blue at birth, but grew out of it as his blood chemistry balanced. So the condition still exists in their family tree, but it's rare. Modern medicine can treat it almost immediately. The legend of the Blue people of Kentucky lives on in textbooks, in local folklore, and in stories like this one. A French orphan, an isolated mountain community, and a rare genetic quirk combined to create something that sounds like fiction, but was absolutely real. Why waste money on blue face paint when your DNA's already got season tickets? I'm Brett, and this is Are You Shitting Me? Tune in next time because I'll be discussing